You're
You're not actually mammals.
mammals.
Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to an area, and you multiply and multiply until every natural resource is consumed, and the only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern.
A virus.
That's what Agent Smith said in the movie, The Matrix. From this point of view, what Agent Smith said makes sense, right? Is there any possibility that humanity is actually a virus that uses planet Earth as a host? Could our planet Earth be a living organism? This claim was made by James Lovelock, a scientist who worked in NASA in the 1960s. The name of this claim is Gaia hypothesis. According to those who support this hypothesis, the current structure of the world fits strictly to the definition of vitality. Like every living thing, the world is constantly trying to protect its balance by using its own organic and inorganic parts as a whole. According to the Gaia hypothesis, the world is a superorganism that shares a common consciousness. It is argued that structures, such as atmosphere, hydrosphere, and glaciers in the world form a integrity by making complex interactions with each other. This hypothesis is basically shaped on three main subjects. The first is that despite the increase in the energy that comes from the sun to our world since the beginning of life, the temperature of our planet remains constant. Of course, if we ignore the global warming in recent years. We will return to this later. Secondly, the gas distribution in the atmosphere should have been variable over time, but it remains at levels that are suitable for life. The third and finally, the average salinity rate in the seas should have been variable, but it remained constant by 3.5%. This hypothesis, which is supported by scientific data like this, seems to have moved from philosophy to the field of science. Although this balance seems to be intact, sometimes things did not go well for the world. For example, at least 5 major ice ages have occurred throughout Earth's history. However, after each ice age it regained its health, and the vitality on it continued. In other words, the Earth got sick and healed just like a human being, assuming the world as a living superorganism. As Agent Smith said, we look like viruses that disrupt this balance, right?
What is real? How do you define real?
So how do we define vitality? In our opinion, is it something that sees with its eyes, bites with its teeth, breathes with its lungs? In the universe, everything is born, grows and ultimately dies, just like living things in our world. The first person who thinks the universe as a great organism was Greek philosopher Anaxagoras, but the idea that the universe is a living organism was claimed by Plato, then by Stoics and Plotinus. As you can see in this image, the microscopic appearance of neurons and the macroscopic appearance of the universe are very similar, right? There are many other examples like this. Let's go back to the global warming we mentioned before. The Earth will eventually die. So what is the world doing when everything living reproduces for the next generation? The idea that the effects of global warming will increase and bring the end of humanity pushes us to look for other planets or other ways of life outside the world. Most of you have heard the idea of the terraforming of Mars. Currently, this idea is being seriously discussed by the scientific world. Elon Musk is one of the biggest advocates of this idea. If we can create an atmosphere on Mars as in the world somehow, we can transfer life in the world there. Although this idea seems to be very utopian now, let us remember that the greatest inventions are done at the most difficult times of humanity. Do you think the world is forcing us to make its own clone on Mars or other planets? When we tell you like this, the Gaia hypothesis looks cool, right? But the fact that it will be cool if it is told like this does not mean that it will actually true. The majority of the advocates of this hypothesis have religiousized this hypothesis. Although it is supported by scientific data, this hypothesis is not a scientific view that has been accepted, but it is clear that it has potential. Or, we gonna say,
You were right. You're always right. It was inevitable.